Hey, what's up guys? It's Jakeen the Nerdy Python coming at you with yet another movie review. First off guys, I want to apologize with how late I am coming out with this review, but there's just so many other things happening that kind of, diverted my attention elsewhere. For instance, like, the preparation of my best friend's wedding, which was amazing. If you have me on social media, make sure you definitely check out the photos. Just so many things kind of, really just keeping me from, going out just to see this movie. But nevertheless, guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you enjoyed this review and find it insightful. So, my feelings on the latest Star Wars film, Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. Basically the culmination of the entire franchise that sort of stitches all three trilogies together. I'll start off by saying this. While there's a lot of things I did enjoy about this film, everything from the cast to the core action and effects, there's still quite a few things that sort of take me out of it that I kind of have to bring to the forefront for you guys. In this film, our main heroes, along with Chewie and their droid friends, have to sort of search the galaxy for these objects that will lead them to Palpatine, which I don't think is spoiling too much because we all knew from the trailers he was going to be back here. So starting off with the cast, everybody did an amazing job. Daisy Ridley, Oscar Isaac, Adam Driver, and John Boyega, they're definitely their most developed selves here, and I do feel like for the most part we got a pretty satisfying end to their character arcs. When it comes to Rey, she was really cool, and I really enjoyed seeing her return here as this sort of over-the-top action heroine that we all know her to be, and just seeing her journey to become a Jedi was definitely a noteworthy part of the lore that I'm sure will live on through the franchise. This film does establish a backstory as to who she is and her connection to the overall story, but still leaves a lot of questions about her parents, which I feel like should be touched on given just how sacred and really deeply rooted into the lore her bloodline is. John Boyega, his fan, was also pretty cool here, and I enjoyed seeing him transition from this defected stormtrooper to an eventual ally turned leader in the Resistance. I mean, he was sort of overhyped to be like the next Jedi of the franchise, but the route they take with him didn't really shock me given that his bromance with Poe was established pretty early. A lot of the humor in this new trilogy stems from that same relationship, and there's this part at the start between him, Chewie, and Poe that I found completely hilarious, and I'm sure it's going to crack everyone the hell up. Of course, Oscar Isaac returns as Poe Dameron, and I honestly feel like he's probably the most fleshed out character in the new franchise. He starts off in The Force Awakens as an already experienced soldier for the Resistance, unlike the others who've sort of become accidental heroes, which I think is what really sets him apart as a character. We also get to meet someone from his past, which we honestly could have done with or without, but it was still pretty cool all the same. Last but not least, Adam Driver returns as Kylo Ren, who's definitely my favorite character in this new trilogy, and I just love seeing, his whole inner conflict with the two opposing sides of the Force, which is sort of what they've been building from the start, and I felt like, the route they chose with him definitely paid off and was just completely satisfying. I mean, the whole question so far has been, will Kylo Ren choose the light side or the dark side? And we do get an answer here, and I felt like it was executed perfectly and couldn't have been better. As for General Leia, I understand that Carrie Fisher had actually passed before the film was done shooting, so most of the scenes involving her were actually, recycled images from other films, which were just completely convincing and honestly so good that I didn't even recognize were actually CG. But either way, I'm really glad that they found some way to include her here throughout some way, shape, or form. Her role in this film was also quite different, and we get to see a side of her that we've never seen before that I would have honestly loved to see explored a lot more. The action and effects here are that of a typical Star Wars film with all the crazy visuals, and includes everything from these huge scale galactic battles to, the more subtle speeder chases. There's this one scene at the start of the film involving the Falcon, which is just, like, without spoilers, I don't really want to spoil anything, but when you see it, it's just completely jaw-dropping and really just has you on the edge of your seat. There's also this celestial body that the characters have to navigate through to get to a key part in the film, and I think we actually see it twice, but it's just this huge, dense, red cloud of smoke just kind of hanging there in the vacuums of space, which I thought was very cool and just one of the many impressive visuals in this film. In terms of design, I really love how this new trilogy is sort of derivative of the original trilogy with, similar set pieces, costumes, and, the use of puppet characters, while still kind of maintaining, the same kind of advanced CG as the prequel trilogies. There's definitely a nostalgia factor here as we hear our favorite tunes playing during the action-packed sequences and get the return of both Lando and Palpatine. And guys, I really love what they did with Palpatine here. He was amazing, and honestly the same Palpatine that we know and love from both the prequel and the original trilogies. With all that being said, guys, I honestly wasn't really too all in love with the plot. I mean, in case you guys have heard, it had more of a MacGuffins type plot to it, which basically means that, the characters had to look for these items to get from point A to point B, which we've seen many times in films like, Indiana Jones and even, you know, that train wreck of a Hellboy remake that we got, and I'm not even going to discuss. But that in itself made the film very convoluted, as the main characters would be on this planet 1 minute and then completely different the next, while still bringing new characters into the fold. So a lot of time, you know, I found myself wondering what the hell was going on, and I'm sad to say that it carries throughout the entire second act and doesn't really ground itself until the third. Overall, guys, Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker was a good movie, but certainly not the best in the franchise. If I had to rank it in this new trilogy, I'd definitely put it below The Force Awakens, but I'm not sure where it stands next to The Last Jedi. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 snake eggs, and only recommend it for fans that feel like they have to see this movie. So have you seen The Rise of Skywalker? What did you think? Leave your comments down below. I hope you guys enjoyed my review and found it insightful. If you did, be sure to let me know by like, commenting, and subscribing, and make sure you tap that bell for notifications. There's also links to my social media posted down in the description below. And as always, Nerdy Python is out of here.